you are thinking about moving to Raleigh, we are going to tell you today why you might not want to do that anymore. So stick around and hear why you might not want to move to Raleigh.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. I am Zach. This is my beautiful wife, Cindy. If you have not subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button in the corner. You can also hit the bell to be notified of every time we release a new video. That number on the screen, we put it there because we are licensed real estate brokers in the area, licensed realtors in the area. So if you have any questions about the market, any questions about the area in terms of real estate, or just the area in general, we would love to chat with you. So feel free to reach out. You can text, you can call, whatever is most convenient for you. So like Cindy said, today's video is gonna be on some top reasons not to move to the area. I know she said Raleigh, this is just gonna be referring to the whole triangle. So Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, the surrounding suburbs. So what this video is not gonna be is, at least I don't think it is, a bunch of cheesy stuff where we're gonna be like, don't move here if you like awesome people or something like that. Like we tried to come up with legitimate reasons. I think they're legitimate reasons of why this area, the triangle, may not be a good fit for you. So with that being said, we'll dive right in. All right, the number one reason I think to not move to the area is public transportation.
Definitely, yeah. Compared to
or
other...
the lack of public transportation, I should say.
I think compared to other larger cities, we just don't have public transportation.
We really don't. We have a busing system.
Yeah, there's like a busing system, but it's not like commonly used, I would say. Like I feel like it's not super helpful. It's not like the bus is going to pick you up outside of every neighborhood or outside of every workplace, like it's really just kind of in the more of the hubs of town, so you've got to be close into everything to even really be able to utilize the bus system. And I don't know many people that really use it, so I can't say if it's good or bad as far as like being reliable or slow or anything like that. I don't have any personal experience with it because it's not super common for people to use buses around here. But outside of that, like there's not a light rail or a subway system or anything of that nature. Like here definitely we're kind of spread out, so everything is just kind of suburban and you're going to be driving everywhere. So if you are the type of person that doesn't want a car, this is not the place for you. Most of the towns are not walkable. Sometimes people are like, we want to walk to school, we want to walk here. Like you get that occasionally in some neighborhoods, but it's not the norm by any means.
Yeah, and that, like what Cindy just said, as far as I think this area really feels like just a giant suburb. Everything is spread out. Driving is the norm here, and so there's not a lot of walkability. We get folks to reach out. They're like, we want to find a neighborhood where we can walk to restaurants, walk to this, and like it exists, but it's really, really, really rare. It's just not the norm here. So I think if you want that walkable lifestyle, condos are really, going to be about your only option. Just a more densely living situation, really, like in the downtown area. And I think that's why, Durham and Raleigh are both getting a lot of condos right now. And I think that's the reason is there's a demand for them because people want that walkable lifestyle. And it just doesn't really exist here. And so, all that to lead back to public transportation. It's not, if you're coming from a larger metro area, it's not going to be anything to what you're used to.
Definitely. All right, so the next reason that you may not want to consider moving to the Triangle is the competitive housing market. It is competitive nationwide, as most people know, but it's another beast here in the Raleigh-Durham area. I think it was in maybe the second most competitive last year on some survey. I don't know how they really determine these things, but it's competitive. It is not, it's not an easy time for buyers right now to get into a home. We will help you get into a home if that's what you want, but it's challenging. There's a lot of people moving in and not a lot of homes to go around for everybody. So you have a lot of bidding wars.
Yeah, it's really competitive. We did a whole video on the competitiveness of the market a couple weeks ago. Nothing has changed since that video if you watched it, but if you did not watch and you're interested more in like the details of it, feel free to go check it out. But yeah, I mean it's hard to buy a house right now, and North Carolina has things that make it honestly even more difficult, like our due diligence fee. We also have a video on that. It's a non-refundable fee that's paid directly to the seller. It is as scary as it sounds, but yeah, I mean it's a tough time to buy a house right now. And I know there's some areas in the country right now that just due to the general inflation that we're experiencing as a country and rising mortgage rates and all those things kind of mixed up together, they're starting to see some softening. We haven't seen that here yet. At some point, maybe, probably, I'm assuming we'll follow the trend of other places. Just don't know when. So as of now, the market is still, it's crazy. It's crazy competitive. All that to say though about the housing market, I mean, obviously what home prices are and what you have to pay for them influences where you move. And so, I don't know, when you're considering the Triangle versus other parts of the country, I mean, that's an important piece to factor in.
Definitely.
So.
Another reason not to move to the Raleigh-Durham area would be capped schools.
Yep.
So it's kind of confusing, but anyone that has been kind of maybe considering reaching out to us about it, or you've just considered looking into the Raleigh area, you may have researched some and learned a little bit about capped schools if you have kids that are school age. So what that kind of means, it's not throughout the entire Triangle, but in Wake County where Raleigh is located, it's pretty common in the Raleigh Apex Cary area to have a capped school. So that might mean the school that you were districted to go to, the public school, is full or capped. So you cannot enroll your kid there. So you'll have to go to like an overflow school.
Yeah.
So sometimes that could be a little bit nerve-wracking for people because it adds a layer of complexity that you're moving into the area.
Yep.
It's already overwhelming, and now you also are confused about where your kid's supposed to go to school and what all it's not as like cut and dry as you might hope. We don't experience that in like Durham and Orange counties. It's really just Wake County, so just something to consider. Not every school is capped, but there are some school districts that are capped for the neighborhood. So it could mean you're going to a different school than your neighbor was assigned to because they might have been like grandfathered into it, and you're going to be new and might have to go somewhere else. So so it can be kind of hard, especially if you're hoping to get into one particular school zone. That school zone could get capped, so that can be frustrating and complicated for people.
And typically it's announced at least a year out as to what schools are capped and which ones are not. So there's a page on Wake County Schools, their website that lists the capped schools for this year and the capped schools, I guess the projected capped schools for next year.
Right, and what the overflow options might be. So it's kind of a case-by-case thing that you would have to call the county once you moved, and make sure everything's lined up. But they should have the assignment already. Sometimes there's like, I guess a little bit of grace for some people depending on how close they might live to the school or how many siblings or different things like that. So there's, it's not super simple. It's not overly complex, but it is can be an added stressor for people that we've helped to relocate for sure. So we do have another video about schooling options in the Triangle that'll go more into capped schools and then charter schools and public, private, all the different options. There's a lot of options
there are.
in the Triangle.
There are. The next reason not to move to the Triangle would be the weather. So what we mean by that is, I think if you're looking to retire to a place that is warm year round, this area, it's not for you. So we have in the Triangle, you're going to have 4 full seasons. You're going to have a pretty cold winter. It's going to last 2.5 months roughly. You'll have a full spring, which we're in now. You'll have a full summer, kind of really a longer summer than really from May until September. where it's going to be really hot, really humid, and then you're going to have a full fall. And so, I mean, if you're from the Northeast and you're looking, or the Midwest, and you're looking just for a really like warm place year round, I would go to Florida.
Yeah.
I would. I'd go to Florida.
It's not Florida. Yeah. It's not like you're gonna like go out in January and go to the pool or something like that. Like we still have winter here, which can be hard. I think when we've worked with people from like California, the weather is not similar whatsoever. So
it's not. Yeah.
It's not like a nice content temperature year round. Summer's hot. Winter is decently cold. It's not like in the negatives or anything like that. We don't get that much snow. Yeah,
and we get a decent amount of rain compared to other areas of the country. So, I mean, we've worked with folks from out west where there's serious droughts, and I mean, we get a lot of rain compared to that. So
this is a good thing, really. But sorry for the helicopter. I mean, we do have 4 distinct seasons, which could be a pro or a con, I guess, depending on where you're coming from. But if your hope is to come live somewhere that's warm all the time, that's not going to be here.
Yeah, and if you don't want humidity, North Carolina, I mean, we're not Florida level, we're not Georgia or South Carolina level, but it gets intense. It's going to be really, really, really humid here. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, the last reason not to move to the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area, the Triangle, would be the lack of professional sports teams. So we do have one sports team in the Triangle that's professional, and that's the Carolina Hurricanes. They're a hockey team. I'm not a big hockey fan. I didn't really grow up watching hockey, but we did meet a Canadian in the airport the other day who said they're really good. The Hurricanes.
Yeah. I've enjoyed the games I've gone to in the past.
Yeah.
It is really fun. He said this year they're projected to be really good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knew? I had no idea. Yeah, I live here. He lives in Canada, but he knew more about them than I do. So
it kind of makes sense that maybe someone Canadian knows a little bit more about hockey than Zach. But so we need to go to a game this year. But those are fun games to go to. They play in Raleigh at the PNC Arena. But otherwise, we don't have like an NFL team or an NBA team here.
You'd have to go. Charlotte has the majority of the professional sports in North Carolina. So you got the Hornets. I don't really watch NBA basketball. I don't know how good they are. I just know Michael Jordan owns the Hornets. The Carolina Panthers, they are not worth moving to Charlotte to watch. They're not worth watching on television.
But he makes us watch them anyways. Die-hard Carolina Panthers fan, even though it's agony watching it.
It's so frustrating. David Tepper, if you were watching this video, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What? We're so bad. Anyway, and then Tepper, who owns the Panthers, also brought in an MLS team in Charlotte. So that's pretty cool. So, I mean, if you want to move to a city where there's a lot of professional sports, Charlotte's probably a better option for you than the Raleigh area.
But we do say, if you love college
we have a lot
basketball,
of college though. Yeah, we have a lot of college.
This is the
sports.
place to be for sure.
Yeah.
Duke basketball, best kind of basketball you could ever watch in your life. UNC's here, they're terrible, but if you want to watch them, you can. So they're both here, which is fun. And we do have a minor league baseball team in Durham.
We do,
the Durham Bulls, which is really fun. I mean, it's not like a major league team or anything, but the games are, to me, I don't know that much about baseball, so it's all tit for tat, honestly. Like, I'm just going to go get my hot dog and enjoy the weather and everything, so it is fun to go to the Durham Bulls games for sure. In the summer they do fireworks and stuff.
But this is
like
a video about what's bad about the area, and what's bad is we don't have a lot of professional sports. So, which, I mean, I don't think we're a big enough state for Charlotte to have professional sports, and then for us to also have a lot too. So North Carolina is not to that level yet, but maybe it will be one day. Maybe we can get our own like expansion NFL team here, so I can be relieved of the Panthers having to cheer for them. Choose a different team and not feel guilty about it. But anyway, all right, those are the 5 reasons not to move to the Raleigh-Durham area, the Triangle, I should say. I mean, our channel is filled with videos about what makes this area great, but there's legitimate reasons not to move here, that other cities have better things than we have sometimes. And so anyway, I just figured this is a fun video to make. But one thing that we did not mention, I guess it's like an honorable mention. Yeah, sorry.
It's a dishonorable
mention.
Yeah,
a dishonorable mention is traffic. So I think traffic here is terrible. If you talk to any local, they're going to say the exact same thing, that traffic is terrible. But we have heard time and time and time again from folks all over the country who come here, typically from, find us on YouTube, and they come here and we meet with them. And without question, the majority of them say, where is your traffic? And so it's had me rethinking my idea that the traffic in the triangle is really bad. I mean, as a local, I'm gonna say it's bad, but the majority of folks that we have, I mean, from all over the country that come here, they literally say the same thing. Where is your traffic? So I don't know. I mean, I think I don't know. That kind of speaks for itself, I guess.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not that bad, but it can be bad depending on the highway you're on and stuff. It's not like it's bad all the time.
Yeah. So anyway, originally that was going to be one of the negatives, but we've had enough people tell us that it's not a negative that we'll just tack it in at the end. But anyway, but thanks so much for watching today's video. Like I said earlier, if you have not subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button in the corner. And you can also hit the bell to be notified of every time we release a new video. That number on the screen, that is our number. You can text it, you can call it. If you got questions about the area, questions about real estate, we'd love to chat with you. Yeah, so, social media.
Yes, if you want to follow along with us more, we would love to have you come follow us on Instagram. Yep. You can find us at The Honeycut Realtors, or you can go to our website, honeycutrealtors.com. Not to be confused with the Honeycut Realtors in Tennessee. Make sure you type in Honeycut Realtors when you make sure it's us. Our picture's on there. So if it doesn't look like us, that's the wrong website. Yeah. They might not have as good reviews as us. So
they don't.
I think they're like a apartment complex or something. I don't know. Anyway, just make sure you type in Honeycut Realtors Durham, Raleigh, something like that to make sure you hit the right ones. But we would love to connect with you.
Yeah. But thanks again for tuning in, and we will see y'all next time.